What is happening, guys? You are back with the Real PG for another NBA player prop video for today, Wednesday, December the 21st. Before we get into this video, if I could please ask you guys to smash that like button. If you've not yet gotten subscribed to the channel, make sure to get subscribed and hit that bell button for the most up-to-date information on player line movement, player injuries, and anything else in regards to today's slate. Last but not least, there's going to be three important links down in the description area below. First one is going to be to the Discord. The Discord is free. There is currently about 1,000 members in there, and it is the heartbeat of the Real PG community. People in here 24 hours a day talking NBA, NFL, NHL, Prizepicks, Thrive, you name it. Lots of value to be had in the Discord, guys. Second link is going to be to the Patreon. I've been giving the Patreon away as a promo for free for the last 30 days. That has officially ended. And as of now, you are back to the good old, you gotta buy it for the Patreon. There is two tiers, a base tier and an all-access VIP tier. You will get access to the VIP chat with almost around the clock access to me. You can ask me any questions. You can ask me to see all my lineups. You can ask me really anything you need. You know, someone had a question on someone's PRA, just bump, should they take it? You know, I gave them that answer almost immediately. So check it out on your own time, guys. If you're curious how we're doing in there, you can come to the testimonial section. People leave comments about myself, the Patreon, they're winning tickets. Again, like I said, check this out on your own time. There is tons here, so you can make a pretty good decision on what you're getting into. Prices will be going up January 1st, and you are forever grandfathered in at the price you buy in at. So if you do buy in prior to January 1st, you're going to be grandfathered in at these prices currently forever until you cancel. If you cancel and come back, you're going to pay whatever the current price is at that point in time. But some people who got in on the first day of the Patreon are still paying bottom barrel prices, and they will continue to for as long as they stay on the Patreon. So signing up faster and sooner does have its perks. This is also why I gave it away free for almost 45 days, so people could see what kind of value it really had for the price tag. And lately, due to the insane success we have had, just the amount of time that I'm putting into it, the price has to go up. It just doesn't make sense for me otherwise, to be putting 12 hours a day in work and paying for all the subscriptions to different sites to get you guys nothing but the best picks. So I do think my Patreon has a lot over many of the other Patreons out there at basically the exact same prices. So check them out, guys. Last link is going to be for Thrive Fantasy. Nothing has changed. I'm not giving my Patreon away anymore, but nothing has changed, guys. You can still come over here, sign up with promo code PG. If you deposit $10 minimum, they will match 100% up to $100. But if you deposit $10 minimum and you make a play, come into the Discord and let me know. I will verify it. Once they verify it, I am willing to send you your $10 back. So basically, it is risk-free to come over and try Thrive Fantasy. I think you will love it. They have two different sections. They have a prop section as well as a contest lobby, which is a DFS area. It's not quite your traditional DFS with salary cap, but again, this is something you can check out on your own time. It's got a nice little twist to it, and is based on the whole over-under prop idea, but in a DFS format. Very, very cool. Come check it out, guys. With that being said, let's get to some plays. So I've got three for you over here today on Thrive. It's a big slate today. I do think the board is pretty close to full over here. Pretty close. So we're going to start off Donovan Mitchell against Milwaukee. It seems odd to be taking anyone against Milwaukee just because Milwaukee is a tough team historically, defensively. But against the shooting guard, they really tend to give it up. So if we take a look at shooting guards and their points versus Milwaukee over the last 7 games, looking at like top 10 worst in the NBA, giving up 24.25 points per game. out of Donovan today, we need 26.5. If we look at Donovan on the books, see where he is currently sitting. His current juice is minus 148 to the over, plus 110 to the under at 26.5 points. I think there is some great value here. He is in a great spot matchup wise. We could also take a look at, I just got this recently. We'll take a look at this. So this is props.cash, just another research tool. So we will look up Donovan Mitchell and we will look at his points props. So on here, this is kind of an average of all the sportsbook. They have him as a minus 150 basically on Pinnacle, which is the sharpest sportsbook in the world. So you definitely take those lines and not these lines. This is more for historical data and stats. So we'll look at Donovan and we're going to look at their play. Let's see where they're playing today. They're playing in Cleveland. So we're going to look at the home games. So home games against they have nothing against Milwaukee. So okay, home games over the last 10 at 26.5 points. Donovan's hit rate is 6 out of 10, 60%. You see the games he has not got there. Dallas and Utah. The Utah game was because we all saw he didn't get any run in the fourth quarter. He was going for 30 plus, easy. Dallas is the slowest paced slowest paced team in the league right now. And they play at Lucas speed, which is snail speed. So it's understandable why he only hit 25 here. Otherwise, he would be 5 for 5 over the last 5. Miami and Philadelphia, totally understandable why he may not have got there in those games. Both great teams as well, and definitely had some game plan against Donovan, I think. So this does have only a 2-point spread. The total isn't very high at 217.5, but it's supposed to be a competitive game. The pace of the game shouldn't be terrible. Let's take a look at the pace. I know I got team pace up here somewhere. I'll just pull it up. NBA team pace. So let's take a look at Cleveland and Milwaukee and see if either of them are giving the other a pace up matchup. So Milwaukee at 101, basically 102 possessions per game. So let's take a look at where Cleveland sits. Bottom of the barrel. So they're actually the slowest team right now. Dallas is so basically the exact same. 98.2 with Dallas, 97.8 possessions per game at Cleveland. So basically the exact same. With Miami, same thing. And then Philadelphia, the other team that he did not get there again. Bottom 5 paces. He is playing a major pace up spot here against Milwaukee, so I definitely like with this history, the Vegas line, as well as the pace up spots in a competitive game. I like Donovan Mitchell over 26.5 points. I think that one is pretty safe. So let's head back over and find the second pick, and we're going to be taking a look at Anthony Simons and his points over 21.5. There we go. All right, so Anthony at 21.5 against OKC. So let's take a look on the sportsbooks first, see where Anthony comes out on Pinnacle. So Simons, where you at, buddy? All right, so big shift, a big shift. This was about a minus 150 earlier. So I may come off of the Simons play. I do want to take a look at Shea real quick while I'm on here. All right, so Shea is bumped to minus 148. So we're going to jump to the other side of this game. And we're going to come off of Anthony Simons, and we are going to come on to SGA points, over 30.5. So the minus 148 juice for SGA looks great. Let's look at the matchup for the point guard versus Portland. It's not great, but it could be worse. For points, 20. Oh, wow. Over the last 7, it is great. 29.5 per game. So basically what Shea needs to hit on average. Shea is an above average player. Let's take a look on props.cash. Let's look at Shea. So Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, they're saying basically it's an even line on here. Not correct. Let's see where he is playing today. They are playing at home. So we're going to look at the home splits over the last 10. You can look at the last 5. So over the last 5, you see his lowest scoring game was 27 against Miami. Second slowest pace team in the league. Also one of the best defenses in the league. Hooked shy against Chicago. That is what it is. That's, you can't do anything about a hook. So other than that, in the last 5, he looks great. Over the last 10, he has hooked twice. He had a rough game against Toronto, and then we talked about the Miami game with the slow pace. In these pace-up games, again, he just played Portland and just put up 35 against them a couple days ago. That was 2 days ago. So let's look on a day's rest, too. How do we do that? No, there we go. On 1 day's rest. So on a day's rest, not much. Okay, 50% hit rate over the last 5, 60% hit rates over the last 10, 60% hit rate, but over the season, 60% hit rate. So yeah, basically, you got minus 140 odds, great odds. You got a great matchup, giving up 29.5 points per game. You got someone who's hitting that a 60% clip at a 30.5 points. He just had 35 last game. I don't see any reason why Shea can't put this together. Let's check at the pace of this game for where OKC is and where Portland is. So OKC is a very fast-paced team. I believe Portland is as well. I guess not. They're coming in at 23rd. It's really not that big of a difference. They're at 100 possessions per game versus OKC at the top of the list at 104. So that's 4 possessions. Not a big difference. But the Portland guys definitely get a little bit of a bump because they're going to have the pace-up game. So I don't dislike Anthony Simons either. So don't discount that one. But I do prefer Shea, I think. Last but not least on here, we're going to take a look at Paolo against Houston, who most believed he was going to be drafted by, playing against another big rookie, Jabari Smith. They're going to be matching up, so I could see Paolo rising to the occasion tonight and making a statement. So let's take a look at how Paolo has been looking. He has a great matchup today, which we will look at. So Banchero, currently no line. I can look, though, and tell you what he was at because I have it on my Patreon stuff. So we're looking at Banchero. So Banchero at 33.5 PRA, which they have him one lower at 32.5 only on Thrive. So we're getting a 1-point discount. He was a minus 150 favorite to the over already at 33.5. So at 32.5, I think this is I don't use the word lock, but I think this is a really, really solid play. Let's take a look. Small forwards. And we're going to look at fantasy points. That's the closest correlation to PRA versus Houston. Top 7, top 6 matchup, giving up 45.74 fantasy points per game. Roughly equates to probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 38 PRA because you're factoring out steals, blocks, turnovers, stuff like that. So, 35 to 42 PRA, over the full 60 minutes. Paulo sees about 35 a game, so just over 50% of that. So that's in the neighborhood of about 26 PRA on average. He's looking for 32. He's got the line. I don't see why he couldn't hit this. Let's take a look at Banchero and see what props.cash is going to show us here for his PRA. So they're saying the line is minus 120, which is, again, not correct. But if we take a look at his pure... Oops. Sorry, guys. Oh, what the hell? Okay, try that again. So, Bankero. And that's his points. So let's switch back over to PRA. All right. So where are the Magic playing today? Let's take a look. They're playing... in Houston. So we're going to go to splits on the road. Oof. All right. So at 32.5, the hit rate, 3 out of 10. Not great. Not great. But it still doesn't really faze me too much just because of the matchup. I mean, if we look, they're, giving up, they're 19th in points allowed, 23rd in assists allowed, and that's where Paulo is going to make most his money in points and assists. So, man, I wish this was a little lower, because you drop it down to 30.5, and he's right in that neighborhood, 29.5, and he's hitting a lot better, but so based on the history, it's not a great play, but everything else about it tells a different story. I'm on Bankero. I think it is a very solid play today. So these are the three that I would feel best about over here. And again, like I said, on the books, they have them at 33.5. On Prizepicks, if you look at Bankero, he's already been bumped to 33.5 PRA. So 32.5 is definitely a steal, despite what you're seeing over the last 10. That's why you can't look at those bars and just see red or see green and make a decision. That's not how basketball works. That's not how betting works. That's not how anything works. If it was that easy, we'd all be rich. So I'm going to lock him in. I'd advise you to do the same. Let's go ahead. Just do it for 5. Why not? So that's that on Thrive. Again, guys, please come over, sign up with my promo code, capital letters PG. It really does help. $10 deposit. I will refund your deposit to you once I have verified it so that you can try Thrive risk-free. And not only will you get your $10 back, they do match your deposit. So if you say you deposit $50, you're going to get $50 for free, and then I'm going to send you 10 back too. So you're paying $40 to get 100. And all you got to do is flip that money one time, and you're going to be able to withdraw it. Simple as that. Definitely still great value to come over and just give Thrive a try. And like I said, there's a totally different experience. If you're someone who plays DFS, you may be very, very interested in what they have to offer in their contest lobby. Again, like I said, it's like your general DFS, but it is not based on a salary cap, so you're never forced to punt. It is on a point system. So this, what they do is they shade the line either higher than normal or lower than normal. So Giannis is at 29.5 today. Or I believe 29.5. Either way. Say his total was 29.5. So they bumped him up to 30.5. So they think that at 30.5, it's more likely he's going to go over. That's why it's worth less points. So it's not even how many you get right. You have to pick 10 of the 20 props, and then you get your points added up at the end, and whoever has the most points wins. So like this one, Jaden Ivey over 0.5 steals. More is worth 70 points, less is worth 130. So say you go for less, and everyone else is on the more, and less hits, but you miss another prop over here, one of these 50-50 props, but you hit this prop, you're going to be ahead of most of the field. So there's some very awesome game theory to this, and it can be very fun if you're a DFS player. Come check it out, guys. I think you will love it. let's head over to Prizepicks. Take a look over here today. Again, I have not gotten too far into my research process. It's only 2 o'clock in the afternoon, but I have gotten first looks done. I've done some base research, so it is a big slate, but I do have a couple of favorites right now. Again, Donovan Mitchell against Milwaukee, I do like, but we're going to give you some different picks over here. Let's take a look at take a look at, man, who do I want to give you over here? Let's look at Joel Embiid and the Philadelphia 76ers game. So the spread on that game is, let me double check, I believe it's 11.5 currently. So a blowout waiting to happen. Yes, 11.5 point spread to the Sixers' direction, 223 point total. So this probably blows out. So first half plays might be the way to go in this game. So let's take a look at Embiid's full game. At 30.5 points and 44 PRA. He's basically got it done in everything but one. He missed by a bucket against Toronto. The PRA, same thing basically, Toronto, and then he came out just short against Sacramento as well. So let's take a look in comparison now to his first half points. So he missed just this most recent game. If we look at the first half points for Embiid, just to make sure the blowout does not affect us, because they have certainly affected us lately. You see his first half looks just as good as his full game. He's 4 for 5 at the end of the day. Yes, he was a little further away on the half than he was on the full game, but I still feel comfortable in a matchup that they're going to be just spoon feeding him down low against Duran, who is a 19-year-old rookie, and Joel is just going to put the stops on him today. I mean, I know he's been looking really good lately, guys, but you're going to find out what Jalen Duran is made of, and he's going to get exposed today against Joel Embiid. He's going to be put into foul trouble very, very quickly, is my assumption. I do like Joel at 15.5 points first half. Let's take a look at the matchup and the line. So for Embiid, do we have a line? God, everything is coming down, man. All right, so I can tell you again what the full game line was. So the full game, Joel Embiid had 30.5 points. He was minus 129 to the over. So let's take a look at the matchup for centers versus Detroit. We're looking at just points right now. And there they are, giving up 22.7 over the last 7 games. Check out the season for Detroit. 22.1. So basically, they've been doing the same throughout the season. It hasn't gotten much better or much worse on the defensive side. Embiid is far beyond average, and I don't see him being anywhere near 22 points, nor does anyone, I don't think. Let's take a look on props.cash at the points prop. I don't know if there is a way to check first half on here, because I did just buy this today. So we're going to see. So Joel, they have on here minus 125. I think that is pretty close to accurate. Are they playing at home or on the road today? Let's see. Philly is at home today. So we're going to go to the home games. Oof, look at that difference. Wow, so he is definitely a much bigger scorer at home. Double check this. Wednesday, December 21st at Philadelphia. Yep, okay. So, 80% hit rate over the last 10 at 30.5. You bring this down to just 30, and you're at a 9 out of 10 hit rate. Or an 8 out of 9 technically at 89%. Drop it back to 30.5. Let's take, can even see it like in the last season. Can we do that? No, it doesn't matter. What's the median bring up? Okay, so that's just giving you projections over here. So basically, over the last 10, Joel's been averaging 38 points per game. Over the last 5, closer to 37. Over the season, 35.2 at home. So he is looking at 30.5. You half that, you're looking at 17 points, 18 points in the first half if you're going off of that. The matchup is strong against Detroit, to say the least. Like I said, he's going to put a rookie in check tonight, and Harden is going to feed him all night long. I do like over 15.5 points for Joel Embiid. Next, let's take a look at James Harden. We're going to look at his assist. It did get bumped from 9.5 to 10 while I was making my lineup earlier today, so I never was able to get him at 9.5, which is unfortunate. But again, because of the blowout, this concerns me anyways. If this game does blow out and Harden only sees 30 minutes, I don't see... Well, not that I don't see, but it's going to be a lot harder for him to put up 11 assists, technically, to cash you in 28 to 30 minutes than he would in 34 to 36 minutes. So I'd be a little hesitant on that anyways, I guess, but it's not a terrible look, and I wouldn't fault you for looking at it. Let's see if there's any other Harden plays that really light up today. His rebounds were one, but I don't know if they offer just his rebounds. Of course they don't. Oh, free throws at 5.5. That's interesting. But not been driving to the lane, not been getting on the line like he normally does, not been getting away with those cheap 3-point fouls. So yeah, let's take a look at Harden. James's points, they're saying 115 to both sides, so even money over the last 9. He's 6 of the last 9, which is 67% at the 20.5 number at home. Over the last 5, he has hit in 3 of 5. He missed against Toronto, where Embiid also missed. Tough matchup. And in this Charlotte game, he hooked short. It was a bucket. So if we look at points allowed, 29th, given up, 29th in the league for the point guard against Detroit. If we look at this matchup here for just the assist, so they're giving up 10.3 assists per game. So right where we need Harden to be. If this game doesn't blow out, I don't mind Harden over 10 assists. I think the number might be a little high. Again, at 9.5, I think it was the right number. I think 10 might be just a tad too high. I do want to take a look at maybe the steal and block and see how he's looked. Not great. His turnovers are interesting. Do they offer that? Let's take a look at his last 10 turnovers. Okay, so the last... I don't know why they keep showing me only 9. Oh, there's only 9 home games. That's why. Okay, so let's look and see if they offer... Of course they don't. Prizepicks knows what they're doing. All right, so you could look at Harden's 10 assists if you want for the full game. Don't hate it. Otherwise, let's see. I'm going to give you one more over here besides what we've looked at on the other side. Let's take a look at something different. Let's take a look at Lonnie Walker. Or we could take a look. We could stay on that. Actually, well, that's interesting. Now I'm seeing that pop up. Wow, he's not gotten to the line very much lately. That's surprising. All right, so Lonnie Walker. And we're going to be looking at his steals today. So Lonnie has gotten steals in 3 of the last 5. If we look at this, though, we scroll down to Lonnie's matchup. It's pretty crazy. This is like some Harrison Barnes-esque numbers here for Lonnie. So if we look at steals and blocks, they don't just have a steal. It's minus 245. I get that includes blocks, but look at his block prop. plus 236 to get a block. So he's not getting a block. The under is minus 375. So basically, that must mean his steals alone have to be over 245 because you're getting a 236 number, combining it with another number to make a 2 minus 245. So, like, that's implying his steals in, like, the minus 400 level, which would not be true and not be correct. But is what I'm getting at is there's tons of value on this line. So let's take a look at Lonnie Walker. And his steals prop. All right, so let's see where they are playing and make sure we have this correct. They are playing on the road in Sacramento today. All right, so they have played Sacramento, and he has cleared this with 2 steals against Sacramento this year. Let's look at the last 10. On the away games, he has had hit this in 3 of 10 only. Not a great hit rate. Let's jump over to the turnovers. That's a little better. 60% hit rate on away games. He had 2 versus Sacramento also last time. So you could look at either of those props, I think, because when you look at his turnovers were also juiced in at minus 254 to the over. So we're going to take the Lonnie turnover line instead of the steals line, I think. Oh, no way they took it off. Oh, that's so dirty, dude. That's so Prizepicks, man, I hate you. All right, so Lonnie steals is not a bad look, guys. Not a bad look at all. If Harrison Barnes plays today, his steals are never a bad look. And then LeBron James, also probable, but with no AD. I do like LeBron's 30.5 points. He's been coming right on this number or getting over it lately. So let's take a look at LeBron on the road against Sacramento. LeBron minus 149 to the over 30.5 points, plus 112 to the under, so there is some huge value there. If we look at the matchup for LeBron, let's take a peek here. So we would have LeBron as the power forward versus Sacramento, and we're looking at points. Sacramento power forward, and there they are, about a top 10 matchup at 23 per game over the last 7. Let's check over the season where they're at. Sacramento, so they have gotten a 20, so they have gotten much worse as the season has progressed in that area. Let's see who he'd be facing up with technically today if he played. Keegan Murray, Sabonis maybe. They might, if Harrison Barnes is healthy, throw Harrison Barnes on LeBron, just because his defense is so strong. So I don't mind the LBJ look. There's some good juice. There is a decent matchup to be had. And if we take a look at James, let's see if it looks any better on here, just because I need to learn to use my fun new toy. All right. So he is playing on the road. All right. So his road splits seem to look a little better than his home splits, actually. So, oh, we have the right? No, we don't. LeBron James. There we go. Whoa. Whoa. Well, I'm glad I got props.cash for this reason, guys. Take a look at this. 2 out of 10 hit rate. I no longer like this play, even a little bit. He's right there in 6 of these games. You know, you drop this from 30.5 to 29.5 or 28.5, even 28, and he's then hit in all but 4 games. So no AD tonight. A lot of backups playing around him. He's going to be playing with the likes of Schroeder, Pat Beverly, Lonnie Walker, and Thomas Bryant. So if LeBron plays, he's going to be carrying the team on his shoulders. despite the line not hitting in the past. Again, the matchup and the spot presenting itself is good. Let's look at the pace of the game here. Sacramento is a very pace-up spot for every team, basically. 104 possessions per game. LA Lakers are, wow, even above them at 104.4. So this is going to be an up-pace, back-and-forth game. Let's take a look at what the spread is and what the total is on this game. 240. Wow. Very high scoring atmosphere. Only a 6-point line to the Kings. So if LeBron and the Lakers can manage to keep this game competitive, I definitely see him with the ability going over 30.5 despite the past 10, despite what we have seen on props.cash. I don't doubt, given what is around him today, that he would struggle to hit this 31 number. Again, if we were looking at a lot of 19s and 20s and 21s, it'd be one thing, but we're looking at a lot of 28, 29s, and 30s. So he's right in that neighborhood every game almost. So again, there's not a lot to love early on. There's a lot of teams that aren't even on the board yet, but I do feel comfortable with the Lonnie play. I feel comfortable with Embiid. So there's a couple plays to look at. Again, I do like the same plays that we took over on Thrive, the Bank Carroll play I like. Who else did we take over here? Donovan Mitchell, probably one of my favorite plays today, and then SGA. So, you could turn this into almost a full six-man. You had Donovan. You could look at Giannis today in a high-paced back-and-forth matchup over his points. Giannis has been an absolute beast lately. A lot of people were talking about his under on rebounds at 11. The number's a little high. So there's a lot of looks today, guys. Nothing that I love, though. Not yet, at least. I've not yet got to deep dive much of anything, so I'm going to do that after this. But this is kind of some first look picks for you. If you're going to tail this, I'd advise doing a little more research yourself into it, but this should put you in the right direction. If you're going to tail any of the picks, I do wish you luck. Until the next one, guys, peace.